everyone please stand? We're going to break open this morning with Morning Has Broken. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first day. Praise for the singing, praise for the singing, fresh from the word. Sweet the rains do fall, sunlit from heaven, the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for sweetness on the wet garden, sprung from completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, a lot of one light on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the garden, young and fleetness where his feet pass.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm echoing. There's like two of me. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you for everybody who joined in. Am I still making an echo? Okay. That will be fixed very, very shortly. Okay. Okay, and I have the clicker for this part. We begin our service with a song and an opening prayer. And today I want all of us to join in with the opening prayer. I will read what's on the screen and then we will say it together. This is a prayer that is attributed to Chief Seattle, and it's very appropriate on the weekend of Earth Day. Okay, so let me read it first and then we will say it together. Earth Mother, Star Mother, you who are called by 1,000 names, may we all remember we are all cells in your body, and may we all dance together. Together? Earth Mother, Star Mother, you who are called by 1,000 names, may we all remember we are all cells in your body, and may we all dance together. So I'll read it and then we will say it together. You are the grain and the loaf that sustains each day. We are the radiant light in sacred dark, the balance. You are the embrace that heartens, the freedom beyond fear. Together, you are the grain and the loaf that sustains each day. We are radiant light and sacred dark, the balance. You are the embrace that heartens, the freedom beyond fear. And again, I'll read it and then we will say it together. Within you, we are born. We grow, live, and die. Within us, you dance forever. Together, within you, we are born. We grow, live, and die. Within us, you dance forever. And so it is. And we say, thank you, God. Thank you, Earth Mother. Amen.
Good morning. And so that we start off on the right foot, we have a young person who is going to come up and light the Christ candle for us. Mina, are you ready? She's a pro at this, so I could be up here and do nothing but just watch her. Good morning. You got it. I take this out. I know. Unfortunately, it's not lit, so we're trying to use our little machine here. Okay. She did her best, did my best. We see the light, and we know in our hearts that it is here. We got it. We just need that. Aha. This represents the innocence that is here. We're not talking the innocence here. We're talking the innocence in this beautiful child. Thank you so much, Mina. Come on. And we will recognize her as we say, beautiful child of God. The words are up there. We're all, come over here. Nina, you are beautiful children of God, perfect in every way. You are loved unconditionally, just the way you are. And if that goes for them, also for us. So let's say to ourselves, I am a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. I am loved unconditionally, just the way I am. And let's remember that.
Now please join us in singing the children on their way to Sunday school.
Thank you.
Beautiful child of God, a wondrous spirit of love and peace, a light to shine forever. I'm a beautiful child of God. You're a beautiful child of God, a wondrous spirit of love and peace. Your light will shine forever. You're a beautiful child of God. Beautiful children of God. We are wondrous spirits of love and peace. Our light will shine forever. We are beautiful children of God.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Again, my name is Phyllis Flemings, and I am honored to be your platform service assistant today. And I'd like to welcome you. Those of you who are online, thank you for being here. And those of you who are here, actually in person with us, thank you. I would like to make a couple of introductions. It might be more than a couple. But today, we have a guest musician, Alina Adams. And she is a music educator, and she is an international performer, originally from the Ukraine. And as I met her today, and we found out that our own Reverend Dalia's mother is from Ukraine, not necessarily the same city, but they have that connection of being originally from Ukraine. Thank you for being here. We also have our minister who is going to give us a good talk today. I always enjoy the talks, so I'm looking forward to that. Reverend Dalia Adams. Thank you. And I want to recognize our people who serve us there. Our audio person, Tom, and we have John working, we all know him, and they get us prepared for me to come up here and be able to speak without giving you a little extra that you didn't ask for. So thank you for doing that. And we have our chaplains today. The chaplains are available to speak with you after the service. We have Cheryl Potts and we have Pat. They are both here, and they will come up at the end of the service to be available in case you have something you want to celebrate, or something you just need prayer, or you just need support. It's always nice to have that. And when I receive my call once a month from my chaplain, I will save that call to listen to it at another time. Thank you so much for the service that you provide. And we know that this is all confidential, so don't be afraid or nervous about coming and talking to our chaplains. And I think we will talk a little bit about community highlights. Everybody's always so excited to find out what's going on in the church. And they just say, not too many, not too many. Okay, first of all, join the Women of Unity in a potluck to celebrate Earth Day. Tips on how to save our planet. It's going to be led by Ann Millward and Janet Owen. This is going to be this Thursday, April 27th. From 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. Going to be here at Unity in the Social Hall. Coming soon, we have Keys to the Kingdom. Now, this has been done before, and I understand that people really enjoy this particular one. It's shorter than some of the ones that we do. I think it's 7 weeks. So come out and get involved and increase your prosperity. And when we say prosperity, we're not just talking about money, although that is close to the top. But anyway, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about health. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about things that increase our lives and make our lives fuller. It will start May 16th and go through June 27th. We'll be led by our own Reverend Dalia Adams. From 4:30 to 6:15 in the Unity Hall, and it's going to be on Tuesday. Also coming soon, mindful meditation. This is also going to be facilitated by our own Reverend Dalia Adams. Thursdays, May 11th through June 29th. 10:15 to 11 a.m. This is going to be on Zoom. And now, what I'd like to do is invite Maylene to come up and talk to us a little bit about Earth Day.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
The volume was a little off, so I was concerned about whether you'd be able to hear me. Thank you. Okay. So first of all, I've been invited to stand up here and read our Earth Care Covenant along with all of you. And I just wanted to point out that our Unity Church is part of a number of Unity Earth Care congregations across the United States, and we're all part of Unity Worldwide Ministries. And we're certified as an Earth Care church about 5 years ago, I'm not sure. And we had to do certain things in order to receive that certification, such as putting solar panels on the roof, using less plastic and getting away from plastic cups and using ceramic mugs, in our social hall, and various other things. I think like a dishwasher that's energy efficient, things like all these different things that we had, and also show through our commitment that we are really part of doing what we need to do to care for the earth. So anyway, we wrote this covenant about 5 years ago. I don't think we presented it before. I'm not sure, but I don't think we did. On the back of those sheets that you received, this sheet right here with the list of things that you can do in your own home or are doing in your own home, there's the covenant. And also the covenant is on the wall. So I'm inviting all of you in the sanctuary to recite this covenant with me, and also all those people that are online watching the service to join us too. So, and I also want to point out that a covenant is an intention and a commitment and a prayer. So I hope you'll read it with that kind of intention. Okay, we're going to begin right now. Number 1, as a spiritual community, we are committed to being ecologically responsible stewards of our earthly home. Number 2, we affirm that we hold a deep respect for all life and a sincere reverence for the interdependent web of all that is. Number 3, we envision and take action to create a world where all life thrives in harmonious interdependence. With compassion and gratitude, we strive to bring awareness of the vital balance of nature to ourselves and to others. Number 4, we join together to mindfully support the well-being and protection of our natural environment excuse me, and across the world. We declare our covenant with God to walk lightly upon this beautiful earth as we hold a vision of the highest good for all living beings on this planet now and for future generations. Thank you for all those who participated. I'd like to, first of all, I want to again remind you that this is a commitment for action on your part and whatever you can do. It's also an intention and a prayer for the earth. And it'd be really good if we could do this once a week in our own homes to remind ourselves of this intention and this commitment. After the service, we will be showing several clips of videos, which will take no more than a half an hour. And they're interesting and they're thoughtful, and I hope you can join us. You know, you can get your coffee and your edibles and sit down and just enjoy yourself. And I think you'll like the video, so I hope you will join us after the service. Thank you.
Thank you, Maylene. Now, something we do every Sunday, and we do it from the heart. This is our statement of faith, and let us all recite this together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good.
For the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Lord of all, to thee we raise our hymn of grateful praise. Beauty of each hour of the day and of the night, vale and vale, tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human love, brother, sister, parent, child, love we praise all things above, gentle, peaceful, calm and mild. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
Thank you so much. It's so beautiful. Happy Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. We had a wonderful celebration in Andrews Park. Our own Lisa Murray organized that, and it was a beautiful way of celebrating Earth Day. Today we continue the celebration here, and as Mei Ling said, after the service in our fellowship hall. It continues into the week. Women of Unity will be celebrating Earth Day on Thursday, right? Yeah. And it's important that we pause and celebrate our earth. And then there is so much that there's to talk about. We could talk for months in terms of learning about the earth, learning about its wonders, learning about its challenges, learning about what we can do, to make the situations that the earth is facing become better. And I was trying to figure out how I could find a narrow sliver to talk about, because otherwise you'd have to be here for a month, and we'd cover it all. Just to cover the checklist that Mei Ling prepared for us and that you got, and the covenant and the video suggestions and book suggestions, and there's just a lot. And I invite each of us to delve a little deeper into our commitment to this, to our earth, to our home. And maybe as a starting point today, what I want to talk about, I think, my slide isn't going, there. The idea, the belief, the consciousness that we are one with the earth. What I want to focus on is how we see the earth, how we experience it. Are the slides jumping or? Okay, I didn't do that either, so. Okay. I forgot what I was saying, so it really doesn't matter. But when I first started in Unity, I had a most amazing first experience with a minister named Alan Robotham. And one of the things that he would say frequently from the platform is, before we try to set things right, we need to see them right. And I really like that, and that is so aligned with Unity principles, because our perceptions, our thoughts, our beliefs, our consciousness is the strength behind our creative power. So if we technology is not loving me today. Anyway, the way we see things, the way we think about them, the way we believe, the consciousness we bring is the strength of our creative power. And it is through our perceptions, thoughts, beliefs that we create the world we want to live in. So with these thousands of things that we need to know and need to realize, and the things that are before us to do in service of our earth, I was thinking we could start today with, how do we see the earth? What is our perception of the earth? In psychology, which is a field I dearly love, there is a whole field of psychology dealing with perceptions and how we see things. And as part of that, there is a very well-known photograph or picture, and I have that up on the screen, that illustrates the way perceptions work. If you want to see more about it, all you have to do is, in a search engine, type in perception and optical illusions, and you'll get an awful lot popping up about this. You'll get this picture. How many people have seen this before? Okay, most people. The first time you see it, you either see an old woman wearing a hat with a veil and a fur collar, or you see a very young woman with a hat and a feather and a veil and a fur collar. Once you've seen them both, you always see them both. But in the very beginning, people tend to see one or the other. How many people are only seeing a young woman? Okay. Only a young woman. Okay. And how many people are seeing only an old woman? Okay, a few. So if you're seeing a young woman, what you are seeing is a profile of her cheek, and then her ear, and then around her neck, some sort of jewelry that enhances her slender and attractive neck, right? If you're seeing a young woman, that's what you're seeing. If you're seeing an old woman, you are seeing not exactly a profile, but kind of a three-quarter view. And she has a very large nose and a big chin, and then her mouth is tightly closed. Now that I've described each of them, how many people can see both? If you can't, go online and stare at it for a while. Not right now, but when you go home, go online, stare at it for a while, and you will see both. Our perceptions are optional in a lot of ways. We take the sensations that come in, and then our brain, our thinking, our beliefs, all enter into what we see. And so my intention today is to invite you to see our earth differently. And people see our earth and the creatures and the people and the forests and the waters on our earth so differently. Friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, is married to a man who does not understand why anybody would ever allow an animal in their house. A cat or a dog, it's just beyond his comprehension. I can't imagine living in a house where my dog is not up on the sofa with me, right? So we see the same thing so differently, and what happens is the way we see it determines our relationship with it. The way we see the earth determines our relationship with the earth. And if we see our earth the way Chief Seattle sees it in that prayer that we said together, we will care for the earth, we will honor the earth, we will protect the earth, we will welcome the checklists like the one Mei Ling prepared. If we see the earth as something to dominate, to use, something that we are free to abuse if we so feel like it, we will act very differently. And we have many, many ways of seeing the earth that are cultural, that we have been brought up with, that TV shows have taught us. When I was young and dating a young man, he was in the service and spent a lot of time in Germany. And one of the things that they would do is have practices for war, and they would blow up hills in Germany. They would just blow up the hill as part of their practice. And when he would talk about it, I guess to the soldiers, maybe it's needed, I don't know, but it sounded normal to him. And I was horrified. Like, what do you mean you blew up a hill? And again, it's how we see things that affects oftentimes what we do. St. Francis, the great saint of the Middle Ages, he reformed the Catholic Church. He gave up a life of luxury to be a monk, to serve the poor, and to take care of the creatures that he encountered. And there's oftentimes pictures of him with wild animals surrounding him and coming to him. And he's known for the things he wrote, and one of them is he wrote a long, long poem song, because it can be read as a poem or sung as a song, called The Canticle of the Sun. It's also been known as a poem called Praise of Creation. And in it, he begins with these words: "Be praised, my Lord, through all your creatures, especially through my Lord, brother, Sun, who brings the day. And you give light through him, and he is beautiful and radiant in all his splendor. Of you, Most High, he bears the likeness." So St. Francis begins by honoring the sun as the likeness of God, as a gift that God gives to us, as the vehicle through which God blesses us. And the canticle goes on for a long time. If you like it, again, look it up. It's a beautiful, beautiful song poem. But that's St. Francis. He's an inspiration for one way of seeing our earth, right? Seeing the creatures of the earth. You know that picture of St. Francis with all the wild animals around him? There's a tendency, especially in a sophisticated culture like our American culture, to go, yeah, and that's a nice picture, but wild animals don't really come gathering around a human being, right? I mean, how many people believe that wild animals actually gathered around St. Francis? Raise your hand if you believe it. Okay, a handful. I grew up with a woman who is much like St. Francis in that way, not in other ways. She would never give up her wardrobe to wear a monk's outfit. You know, there were differences, but in terms of her relationship with the earth, her relationship with the creatures of the earth, I watched wild animals come into her bedroom in the early spring when the snow would still be falling, when the animals had given birth and the babies were still really tiny. My mother's bedroom was up on the second floor, right next to the roof of our porch. And then the porch had trees overhanging, and coons and possum and little bunnies would, not bunnies, because they don't climb trees, but possum and coons almost every night in the early spring when it was cold and they had little babies would come into her bedroom, and she would leave food out for them. And the really amazing thing was that she always had 2 or 3 big dogs, at that time usually collies, that would be on her bed with her. And the collies, the dogs, would lay there, not jump, not attack, not run after these wild animals. We, the rest of the family, could peek into her room from the hallway and see this. But if any one of us walked through the doorway, the dogs would jump for the coons, everyone would scatter. But when she was by herself, these wild animals would gather around her. And I could go on for hours with stories about my mother and the creatures of the world. At one point, there was a baby robin that had fallen from its nest that my mother picked up to care for, and this robin opened its eyes and saw my mother first. And with birds, the first being that they see when they open their eyes is its mother. I mean, this is documented in biology. So this little robin opened its eyes, and there was its mother. And so that robin and I were siblings for a little while. So she carried this robin everywhere she went. And then she wanted to go shopping. I mean, she was big on clothes and shopping. And so there was this robin, and she took the robin and she put it on top of one of the collies' heads and said, "You take over." And this collie carried the robin around for days. And then when the robin was ready to fly, it first took off from the robin's head. Is anybody wanting to have me committed at this point? True stories. I grew up not knowing that people considered mice pests. I didn't know that until I was, I don't know, somewhere in high school. But in our house, there was a room that was the pantry, not just a big, cabinet. And in the pantry, there were doors that opened up onto shelves. And one of the shelves in the pantry was for the mice. Every day, leftovers or crumbs or extra food was put out on that shelf for the mice. And every morning, that shelf was clean. I didn't know that in other people's homes where there were mice that there would be droppings. We never, ever saw droppings for mice. I didn't know that in other houses, if there were mice, the mice would eat through the packaging and eat the food that was meant for people. That never, ever happened in our house. The mice came and ate the food from the shelf that was designated for the mice, and that was it. Again, I could just stand tell the stories for hours, so I won't. But that's That's another way of seeing our earth. And she, I guess, from the time she was very little, because I heard stories of how she would get in trouble as a little child because of how she perceived the creatures of the world. When she was raised Catholic, and when she was 7, Catholic little children make their first communion, and she did. And her parents bought her a mink coat for the occasion. She took the mink coat and put it in the dog houses outside so the dogs would be warm. And no one could find the mink coat till many months later. Anyway, it's how we see the world. It's the perceptions that we bring that drive our actions and our commitments. My mom was the same way with plants. I remember with her house plants, when I was little, I'd be running around the house and she'd stop me. She goes, "Don't run right by this one. You're scaring it. You're terrifying this plant. Run over there. Those plants don't care." Now, if this is sounding bizarre to you, there is a lot of scientific evidence supporting all of this. Tremendous amount of scientific evidence, and it's been around at least since the late 60s and early 70s. There's a book called The Hidden Life of Trees, Peter Wohlleben. And it talks about how trees take care of each other. And if one tree is struggling, is having some health challenges, the other trees with their roots will help feed the tree that is in trouble. And that they play favorites. If there are 2 trees and one's a family member and the other isn't, the family member gets taken care of first. But that the trees love each other in tree language, if you will. Or The Secret Life of Plants. This one's one of the older books. When I read it, I was amazed. And I was the one raised by my mother, and I was still amazed. Plants can tell if you're walking toward them with the intention of cutting them, hurting them, or destroying them. There is an electromagnetic activity that is similar to a fear reaction in animals and people that happens. If you're approaching a plant to take care of it, to love it, to feed it, there's a calming response, an electromagnetic response that would be similar to a person or an animal feeling loved. Once you come to know this, you never feel the same when you're mowing the lawn again. And the other piece of it is there is a pattern of survival, a pattern of what Thich Nhat Hanh called interbeing. It's not like we live with each other, we live within and through each other. Dogs that know when their owners are coming home. We read this in a Valley Book Club. Story after story after story about what seems like psychic abilities. I had a dog named Misty. She was 3/4 husky and 1/4 wolf. And she basically wasn't interested. She didn't wag her tail and come greet people. She spent her life laying, looking pretty. That was all she did. And she and I had a good relationship, but she wasn't interested in, how puppies and dogs do. The dog I have now, "Oh, pet me, pet me, pet me," Misty, she was too regal. But Misty's life was in danger, and a woman that I knew who was a retired pet psychic helped save her life. And after that happened, Misty would wait at the door, waiting for Diana, and would jump up on Diana to say hello. Never did that for anyone else, including me. She would sit at the door the moment Diana left her house to come over. It was a 40-minute drive, and Misty would sit at the door for 40 minutes waiting for Diana to come. One time, Misty positioned herself. The only time she sat at the door like that was for Diana. So one time, Misty positioned herself, and Diana wasn't coming over. Diana didn't do spontaneous things. She made dates. And so Misty's sitting there. I said, Misty, you've got it wrong this time. 5 minutes later, there's Diana at the door. Her car broke down in my neighborhood. So when we think of the creatures of the earth as dumb animals, we're wrong. Or I would like to suggest or convince you that we're wrong. We need to see the earth as our brother, our mother, our life. We need to know that we are interbeings with all the creatures of the earth. Albert Einstein said, look deep into nature and then you will understand everything better. And he's supposed to be the smartest man on earth, right? Or one of them. And so to look deeply into our earth, that William Blake wrote a poem that most people have heard of that begins, to see the world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower. So there have been people before me that have been saying this and teaching this, that we need to see the world differently. We need to see God in every grain of sand, in every flower, in every mouse. So I encourage you, and what my talk is about, is to see this world differently, to see the face of God in a grain of sand. And that's Fort Funston. These are all pictures I took in this area of the world. Every grain of sand created that magnificent vista, and all of it is the face of God. To see the face of God in a blade of grass, like these grasses in Fairfield, in a flower. This was in a neighborhood walk with my dog in Fairfield, or in a tree. I forget the name of these woods. They're named after a man, and I can't remember his name right now, but they're close to Jenner Beach, up the coast. Pardon me? They are redwoods, but no, that's not the name of the park. But it's, no. I'll have Marcy send out an email to everyone when I remember. To see the face of God in the sun. And this is one of the sunsets. This is Stinson Beach, one of my favorite beaches here. In the sky. And this picture doesn't quite capture it. This is a rainbow, and it's at Albany Bulb. Albany is just north of Berkeley, or it's somewhere in that area. It's adjacent to it. This was a rainbow, but it was during a time when the fires were raging and our skies were filled with the red smoke. In real life, the rainbow was shining through really brightly, but also red. And then we've all seen rainbows that happen when our skies are clear. In the clouds, check out these clouds. the way they're reflected in the water. This is the marina in Richmond, in the water. And that's Stinson Beach again. This is right where we live. This is the face of God shining through our earth, through our creatures, looking right at us, loving us. To see the face of God in the animals we see and meet and love. This is Fairfield, in someone's front yard. This is Vacaville, at the bottom of my steps when I lived with Mary Gherkin in Vacaville. And this is my sweetheart. That's Sachi, my dog. John Denver said, "Love the earth as you love yourself." And so, ending with Chief Seattle, the earth does not belong to us. We belong to the earth. So I invite us all to see it right. And so it is. And so, let us go deeper into our time of meditation. Allow yourself to sit comfortably, breathe easily, and simply notice the movement of your breath. Your breath that is the life of God moving through you right now. Allow your breath to take you deeper within. Allow your breath to take you into that sacred space, that secret place where you meet the presence of God. And from that place, feel your heart opening. Feel your heart opening to the presence of God. Opening to the many, many faces of God. Opening to our beautiful earth. And all of the beings that are the life of the earth. And so hold in your heart our beautiful earth, its mountains, its valleys, deserts, rivers, lakes, oceans, glaciers, and all of the fish and tiny creatures, the animalcules and the algae and the roses and the sequoias and the clouds and the sky. Allow your heart to open big enough to hold our beautiful earth. And in the silence, hold these words: I am one with the earth, my beautiful mother. I belong to the earth. Holding that affirmation in your mind and in your heart, allow yourself to gently and easily bring your attention back to this room, back to this time and place. Please open your eyes if you haven't done so already and be fully present. And then look around and see the beautiful light of God shining on each and every face. And know that that light is shining through you and as you in this very moment. And then join with me in saying thank you. Thank you, God. Amen.
much for that talk, and the music was beautiful. Thank you, Elena. And now we will have our ushers come forth. The title of the talk could have been See Rightly, See Things Rightly. Thought about that, how our perception is so much. You come forward. Thank you, ushers. We have so many ways that we can donate. And when we come to sessions like this or we're online looking, we can see how important it is for us to keep something like this moving forward, the beautiful music, the talks, and all of this of getting together and sharing with each other. We have different ways that we could donate. We can do the text give, as you can see. Just text give when you dial that number. Very easy. You can also go on the website and you'll see a button on there that says donate, and we all understand about donate, and we can donate something. There's an old way that we can do it as well. You know, we can just have our little checks. We can send those in, or we can, when we're here, we can just bring it with us and drop it in the box. There are all ways that we can give, and as we give from our hearts, it's funny how the universe opens up and gives back to us. So, thank you for giving.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am blessed. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed. Please sing with me. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am blessed, I am grateful, I am so blessed. One more time, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. Full-throated, let it fly. I am so blessed, I am blessed, I am grateful, I am so blessed.
Thank you. Let's give the blessing for our offering. It's on the board, the affirmation of divine substance. The inexhaustible nature is equal to every demand. There is no reality in lack. Abundance is here and now manifest. And now we will gather together and do our peace song.
So hold hands or not, it's your choice. Let's make the big circle. We are on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God, our Creator, we are family. Let us walk with each other. Perfect this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
So join me in the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. We are one holy family. We celebrate our oneness and honor our diversity. And now please join me in our closing affirmation. And I invite you to hold this in your mind and heart throughout the week. We are one with the earth. One more time. We are one with the earth. And so it is. And now please take time to greet each other, hug each other, shake hands, or simply bow, dance, genuflect, whatever you're moved to do.